welcome to Slumber Party. Here with us today on our bed are members of the Innovators series, Festival used to be called series, from Arlington County, who are here to talk about their little festival, which goes from April the 9th to the 30th. And we have, sitting to my right, Alberto Gaitan.
Very good.
In his lovely footy pajamas. I commented earlier today that many people say, I'll wear my footy pajamas. Nobody's ever done it before.
That's right.
Sitting across the bed from Alberto, not in his footy pajamas, is John Palmer Claridge.
Hello.
And next to John is Laura with the L on her pajamas, and her last name is Schandelmeier.
Excellent.
There we are. Okay, that's it, Miles. I'm done. You can.
You are a wonder.
It's amazing, isn't it? Now, Anton, the first thing.
Alberto.
Alberto. Great.
You got the Gaitan right. You guys.
No, I did it right first time.
And I did.
I'm doing it deliberately, see.
That's okay.
The first thing is the art attack.
Yes, Lily.
Now, could you please tell me and Mark about that?
Well, Art Attack is a group. The Art Attack is kind of a misnomer, I suppose, but we're a group of a multidisciplinary group. Just a bunch of artists that got together of all sort of disciplines that wanted to experiment with other disciplines and wanted to create things under the guise of a group so that we could do big projects. And we could also perhaps form an organization where we could get things donated, materials and things, and we could make public site events like we did last summer.
And this is your...
That's one of our
site
works.
event.
Yes, that happened last summer in Arlington.
This was near Marymount University?
Yes, this was on Old Dominion Drive, 4749.
And it was a house?
It used to be a farmhouse around 1910, and it was recently condemned.
I'm going to change pictures now. Here we go. Recently condemned, and so you guys came in and...
We came in and deconstructed it. We did that sort of on-site. We do all our stuff on-site. It's sort of like a big jam session with chainsaws.
Excellent.
And
water here, I noticed.
There's water, right? We dug a reflecting pool out on the front lawn and floated the ceiling from the porch on top of the pool.
And then this was on exhibit for how long?
This was up for 4 to 6 weeks. I forget exactly, but
a little over a month.
Yeah, a little over a month, and it was a lovely experience. We got a lot of help from Arlington County to do it. It was entirely funded by Art Attack and our friends and supporters. We like to do that whenever possible.
And people strolling past could just have a look at it? Was there a sign explaining what it was, or did people just think somebody gone nuts?
People thought all sorts of things. There was not much of a sign. Well, at the beginning there was a sign saying that we had planned on doing this. People would stroll by and talk to us because we were there every day.
Oh, you were?
Oh, yeah.
Like a deconstruction crew.
Exactly.
It takes time to deconstruct a house.
It takes time because we would sit and we'd take something apart and we'd look at it for 5 hours and fight over it and go on to the next phase. But people would walk by, so we'd have a lot of visitors, and we'd take our time explaining to them and getting their ideas, comments, etc. We also had a mailbox where people could leave comments and notes, and we got a lot.
Really? And what sort of comments were they?
Oh, everything from you should be ashamed of yourselves, you should be renovating this place instead of tearing it down, but 99% of them were very positive.
Now, the building had been condemned.
Yes.
So
this person was obviously delusional, and the one I'm talking about that insulted
you shall remain.
I might add, because Alberto is so modest, that there was an absolute rave from the Washington Post.
Really?
On the cover of the style section, complete with pictures. And
yeah, they liked it. Ben Forgy, who does the architectural articles, many of the best, he really loved it. He came out and looked at it, and
NPR?
NPR as well. They covered the demolition and the construction.
Now, how much of it was planned in advance? Did you look at the house and as a group say, this is what we're going to do?
We were looking for a wood house, and we originally had several sites in the district, but it became impossible, and thanks in part to Arlington Arts Center and to the Cultural Affairs Division of the Parks and Recreation Department, where John works, we were able to get insurance and and cooperation from the county to get the permits necessary to do this.
And as artists, you had a vision going in as a group, or
We knew that we wanted to cut it up. We really did not know exactly what was going to
I
happen.
think calling it a jam session like you did
Yeah.
is probably
It's an
pretty accurate,
improvisation.
because that's,
wow.
and that's what's great, because the house that they'll be doing as part of the Innovators Festival will be totally different.
And so you just sort of go in and chop a bit off and say, right, that looks good. You didn't sort of fight about putting things back or anything.
No. What we fight about is on paper usually. We do lots of drawings at the onset, and we try and come to consensus. People have to defend their ideas. If they're not good enough, they die.
The people are the ideas.
The ideas. So it's sort of this metamorphosis, this transformation from our original ideas, and what the result is this beautiful object.
So now that this next one that's going on is going to be on April the 9th.
April 9th is going to be the raw material. That's what we're going to be working with. It's our block of marble. And
It's just the festival opener. We had the opportunity for a 35-piece accordion orchestra, which is coming from the Rhineland. And we will have Slumber Party out there.
That's right.
In our
Miles and
country.
Lucy will be,
Yeah.
yes, you'll be there as the hosts for what we're calling a surreal serial event. The Art Attack House was called Surreal by the Washington Post. And we figured, since Slumber Party is going to be the hosts, that anybody who wears their jammies will get free cereal. Alberto will be speaking about what the Art Attack is for the people who come. We've had a little problem with some of the asbestos removal, and his other compatriots are now deconstructing a house in Austria.
Oh, wow.
So they won't actually start now till about mid-festival, and they will be actually doing the house on into the summer. And the demolition, which we originally thought was going to be in May, now won't be till sometime in the summer.
But
this time.
nonetheless, people can come and see the site and talk to you about it.
And see Slumber Party live,
Absolutely. What more could anybody want?
So we
and get free cereal.
so we traded
you're
a
in Egypt.
concept art group for an accordion orchestra. I'm not sure who got the better deal there.
It depends on the accordions, really, doesn't it? How
Yes, it
loud
does.
are accordions?
35.
35 of them are loud.
And, you know,
And they're going to be doing American music.
that's right.
West Side Story.
West Side Story will be one of the, Suite from West Side Story is one of the pieces. that will be done,
Bernstein.
as well as other things they have.
Did it make you
A
sad
wide
when they tore
repertoire.
your house down that you had deconstruction?
On one side, it probably was a little sad, but I thought it was kind of cool. They had a big bulldozer, and they just smashed the thing to smithereens,
That's the ephemeral quality of.
Yeah, I mean, we accept the transformation, and
Right.
we don't build things to last forever.
And they've
Yeah.
got nice pictures.
They've got, yeah,
Very
right.
nice picture.
And you've got your memories.
We've got our memories.
We actually
It's
have
not
pictures.
much, but
We have pictures of the rubble pile.
Oh, really?
Actually,
After?
yes.
Oh, that's really-
That's why we've, part of the closing event, actually, of the Innovators Festival is the demolition. People will be
excellent.
invited if they
People will be
let us
invited,
know.
yes.
We'll let them know when demolition day is.
And what happened to that site, the original site?
it's like nothing was there. It's a lawn now. It says no trespassing.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's it.
Whereas
Just along this is
the
no
new
trespassing?
site-
Keep off the grass.
The new site is actually going to become an urban park.
oh, lovely.
The one that you're getting ready to do.
Yes, the one we're getting ready to
At
do. So
30.
they will, 3286 Fairfax Drive.
Right.
Across from St. Charles Church.
Right.
Right.
For all you churchgoers.
Right there where that
That's
used
right.
car lot is. and,
So
So
come
drive
out
by
of
the
Palm
metro.
Sunday Mass and
That's right.
Pop over.
pop over.
Right, everyone
In your
coming out of Palm Sunday
your
Mass will
pajamas.
hear the accordion orchestra. The timing will be perfect. It will be perfect. And if any of them wear their pajamas to Mass, they'll get free cereal.
That's right.
What time in the morning is this?
11:30?
11:30, so
Right.
definitely after church you can pop on over.
Yeah, 11:30 is when we'll be starting. That's when Slumber Party will be there, and people will, I don't know if they've even talked to you. I talked to Hap.
Oh, yes, no, we-
About having them, but about having people be able to come with their cereal and sit on the bed and talk to you like kids would talk to Santa Claus. That was sort of the
Certainly.
idea behind it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ask for
what
gifts.
power.
Yes, that'd be so much fun.
No,
Well, I
you
don't know if they ask
can't
for
have
gifts,
the
but they could
scooter.
say, do you think if I dropped your name, they'd give me another box of tricks or something
Well,
like that?
maybe that
Oh, tricks?
Tricks, yes.
Good.
Don't call me that. Now, how are you involved in all this, Ms. Schandelmeier?
Oh, well, I'm putting together the Field Day performance, which is a marathon performance of artists of all disciplines from, actually it's turning out to be all over, from New York and Philadelphia and Baltimore and all over the district and DC area.
And where's that going to be? All over the place as well?
No, that's going to be in the Black Box Theater 2, it's
Theater 2
called.
at Gunston.
Gunston.
The first week, apart from the Art Attack House, the first week of the festival takes place at the Ellipse Arts Center on Fairfax Drive.
Right.
Week 2 is in Theater 2 at Gunston, and week 3 is in Theater 1 at Gunston. And they were...
It just so happens that you have a single ticket for everything that's only $50.
$50 every event, 15 events, am I right?
Everything. If you buy $50, you get to come in to see everything.
That's like $3 and some cents.
I'll be there.
per
I'm coming to see
performance.
everything in this series. It's going to be fabulous, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see the Schandelmeier movie there.
Yes, right here.
And the lady that dances, and I'm gonna go see Dave Tegan, Dave Van
David Van
Tegan,
Tegan. David Van
the
Tegan.
mallet guy, drummer.
So
He's great.
who are you particularly looking forward to seeing, Laura? Do you have a particular favorite?
Well, this is, I can't even, no, because this is a non-curated event. This is people that, I put
Field
out
day.
the word,
Field
it's a
days.
field day,
Right.
yeah. For just, this one thing that I'm putting together. I put out the word, and anybody that wanted to perform called me up and said, I want to perform, and I said, okay. Here's your tech time, here's your performance slot. So some of these people I know, some of these people I don't. New York is my hometown, so it'll
The
be fun.
field, to give you a little background, the field works out of New York, and there's a long history of these kinds of non-curated performance marathons in New York. Laura moved down to Washington now, and was just talking to me about the work that she does. She holds workshops and works with performance artists who are developing new work. And I said, wait a minute, we could do a field day as part of the Innovators Festival, and that's how it got started. And there was some question, this is new, it's been going on in New York for a long time, but hasn't been going on in Washington for that long. Are you going to be able to get enough people to fill up
Right.
4 or 5 hours? Well, now, tell them the good news.
We've got a waiting list.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent. So this is something that might pick up and take off in Washington.
I think so. I mean, this is the second workshop that I've done since this fall. I just got here, blew into town. This is the first marathon performance, and I've got people calling me every day. The phone's ringing off the hook.
We're actually starting at 6 o'clock for that one, so we can get in.
We'll be going till 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
It
6
will
And
to
be.
people
11.
can come at any time?
There'll be
6
sittings
to
every
11?
half hour.
Or you can come at the beginning and just watch the
And
Sure.
you can sit, and that's only $5.
Excellent.
And as
And you
part
can
of,
yeah.
all the Innovators events have talkbacks with the artists, and so the field has a history of letting people comment on what's going on, and so I think we're going to do that. Every hour we'll be having the potential for response, and since it would be kind of difficult at the end of 4 marathon hours.
Right, to
Right.
sit down and
To talk.
remember which specific questions you had for him.
So we'll get to
Excellent.
talk in between, but there always will be talk. Because part of what's fun about the Innovators, we've tried to make it as broad-based as possible. We have music, dance, theater, film, video, poetry, and visual arts. Really wide range. And it's supposed to be people who have a new vision or something that's a little bit different that you might not see every day. And so we found that the audiences really want to question, and they want to talk back, and they want to express their opinions about whatever the events are. And particularly with the field day that Laura's working on, this is going to be all over the place. And
Can you
there's
give
gonna
us
be
a,
many,
sort
many
of an
things.
idea of the range of performers?
Well, it's going to be mostly dance, but there's also Oz the Messenger, who I think is a poet. I'm not real sure. Haven't gotten his information yet. There's a woman, Mary Ellen Strom, who's coming. Not Mary Ellen Strom. Mary Jean Liederbach, who's coming from New York, and she does. She's got a dance background, but she's also a physical therapist. She does work with kids. Her work, what I've seen in the past, is a combination performance art and dance. There's a performance artist coming. There's going to be children performing, teenagers performing. There's going to be music, people singing. There's going to be drummers. It's really the gambit. There may even be a juggler. At this point, I'm not
But
sure.
no mimes, right? We want to make assure everyone in the audience there will be no miming at this
No
thing.
miming.
I can't guarantee that. I don't know
You
what's
put a
going to
sign up
happen.
backstage.
Oz the Messenger may
Anything
turn
doesn't-
out to be a mime.
Anything can happen. You never know.
There'll be a sign if there
What
are
do you call
strobes
that?
or mimes.
He'd be Oz the Mime, though, wouldn't he, in that event?
He may be Oz the Messenger, who really is a mime.
And he wouldn't want anybody to know,
No,
so he
right.
changed his name to
Change
Oz
his
the
brand.
Messenger. He's not getting any work as Oz the Mime. Change your name.
Now,
No, everybody hates
you,
mimes.
you brought a video with you?
We have a video of David Van Tegan, who is a percussionist from New York that you may have seen. He did several 501 Gene commercials. He's been on David Letterman. He started out playing on pots and pans, and he just now plays on almost anything you can imagine. He did actually a video that's out there where he played the city of New York, walked around and
People's
played
heads, cabs.
Right, telephone booths, all kinds of things. You never know what David is going to do. What he's brought to us for the Innovators Festival is a piece that he premiered at the Dance Theater Workshop in New York called Absence of Mallets. But he does a lot of composition for theater. He actually did the score for 6 Degrees of Separation on Broadway.
Oh, lovely.
So he's very well known. He works with a lot of dancers. And he does his solo piece where he does a lot of strange percussion stuff. And I think we're going to take a look at some of that, right?
Excellent.
Is that correct?
Excellent.
Let's have a look. David Byrne-esque, doesn't he?
Kind of.
Rushing around and blowing things up.
Yeah, I'm walking backwards.
And who else do you have with the...
Well, there's a whole slew of people, yes, right. I guess I'll just I can go through the whole thing for you if you'd like to sort of take it.
Sure. Oh,
Well, we open up on the 9th with the accordion orchestra and Alberto talking about Art Attack and the Free Serial. Then that opening week, Wednesday, it's all at the Ellipse Arts Center. Wednesday at 6 o'clock is the opening of a visual arts show called all together now, artists that work in the community. The Innovators part of that is a real intriguing piece called The Vulgar and the Sublime. Vermont artist and NPR commentator Elaine Siegel has gotten a bunch of ordinary people, non-artists together, a mechanic, a plumber, a former CIA official, to be able to pick objects, one of sublime beauty and one of irredeemable ugliness.
This is all of their own.
Yes, of their choosing.
Absolutely.
And then the question is why? Why are these objects beautiful to you? Why are these objects? Because we never ask those people about their aesthetic. We're always told, this is beautiful and this is why and so people finally have an opportunity to be able to talk about it. One person picked as an ugly object cigarettes. One person picked as a beautiful object an old car that he'd been restoring. So there's a whole different aesthetic. She even actually invited Newt Gingrich to take part on National Public Radio. And as of today, he has not yet responded, I don't believe. So I don't think we're going to get to see Newt's selections.
Well, perhaps
he's a little too busy.
Him as an ugly.
But that's on Wednesday. Thursday is Kiki Venus.
Who was
Did I
not
say
here,
that right?
I might just
Yes,
add.
That's right. He was
Doing a performance piece that he did in collaboration with Y. David Chung called Los Otros Dos. It's about the sort of tensions between the Hispanic and the Korean communities. So it's a very interesting piece. Kike plays both a Mexican and a Korean, and they're very exaggerated stereotypes. As the Mexican, he has like a big hat and a long mustache. As the Korean, he's got some glasses on. So they're gross stereotypes, but he's really talking about a pretty serious issue.
And an issue that we're also addressing here in this area.
Yes.
Not just nationally.
Yes.
And David was won the Rosebud thing a couple of years ago.
2 years ago.
David is very, very talented. He's done the backdrop and the videos for that piece.
Yeah.
On Friday, we have a really exciting thing, Crazy Mark Smith and the Pong Jam.
The Pong Jam?
Yes, they're a group, sort of a jazz group that improvises. Mark is the person who invented slam poetry in the bars of Chicago. And it's really taken off. There are a lot of poetry slammers in Washington now. But he's coming in and he's going to do a poetry slam for us. There'll be some local poets as well as people that he's brought with him from Chicago. And people in the audience will have a chance. And there will be, this is for people who don't know, sort of very visceral, sort of blue-collar poetry. I mean, it's your chance to take it out of the ivory tower, gives people a chance to really just express themselves in poetic form. The Pong Jam improvises music underneath. So you say, this is the kind of mood I want, and they improvise, and the people get to do it. And there is a chance for the audience members to vote. Should be quite an event. That's Friday.
And how do you participate in that, say, if you wanted to?
You just come with your poems, and there'll be an opportunity for you to take part. Or if you think you would be a good judge, you can come and volunteer. The first part is pretty much the people who are coming, and then there'll be the opportunity for the slam, and that happens in teams in the second half of the event. So this should be really a lot of fun for the literary crowd. And closing out the first week is Elaine Siegel, the woman who did The Vulgar and the Sublime. She has a performance piece that she does called The Big Little History of Public Art from 3000 BC to the Present, which is a multimedia, it's video, it's slides, it's a very humorous look at what we call public art. She starts out with, to give you an example of the sort of tone, of when she was with her parents at a McDonald's growing up, and they said, wait here, don't go anywhere, and hold your sister's hand. And they went to the counter, which was 5 feet away, and the little sister felt fine because the big sister's holding her hand.
Right.
And the parents felt fine because the kids were 5 feet away. But, poor Elaine was having a crisis because she felt abandoned. And then all of a sudden she noticed across the way this giant neon Pegasus going through the sky. It turned out to be a Mobil oil sign. But that was, for her, the introduction to public art. And she talks in a very humorous way about that. She talks about the pyramids, and she has images of, Robert Mapplethorpe with the bullwhip, et cetera, et cetera. And so it should be a really, really very interesting evening. That's week one at the Ellipse. When we move over to...
Wow,
that's
that's 1 week.
That's just 1 week. That's 1 week. When we move over to the Gunston Art Center, and we're in Theater 2, we start out with a video event.
This
Yes.
is April 17th?
April the 17th, you got it.
Gosh.
Put together by Jackie Stephen and Hap Hoibish. the people behind Slumber Party, behind the scenes, the ones you don't see. And this is quite exciting. It's a whole video forum looking at the work of some really exciting new videographers. They'll all be there. You get a chance to see it on a giant projection screen, not a little TV. But you'll also get a chance to participate.
And to talk to the audience.
And to talk to, yes, talk. Everybody can talk, lots of talk. And it's all going to be recorded, and it will be on Channel 33. That's right.
So you can
That's
be
right.
part of our studio audience, or you can watch it at
Right.
home.
So, and you can see yourself on TV, perhaps. Then Tuesday is
Field
Field
Day,
Day.
the
Field-
marathon performance.
the
yes.
marathon performance, which is going to go 6 to probably about 11, depending on how much people talk. It will be.
Yeah.
late. But you can be seated, every half an hour. So if you get off work a little later, come on over. There's still plenty for you.
And the rest of that
It's only $5. Then after the field day, on Wednesday, we have a new piece by Julie Portman, who's a storyteller out in Rappahannock County, called My Sister's Sister. It completes a trilogy that she did about her family. Her sister was a schizophrenic.
Oh, wow.
And so the piece is about Julie and about her sister and just about us all. She said, her sister's a schizophrenic, she's an artist. Well,
Oh, really?
yeah.
How did that work genetically?
Yeah, so it should be a very interesting. She's a very powerful and Obie-winning storyteller, and she's accompanied by her husband, Paul Reisler, who is the man behind Trapezoid, the very well-known folk group.
And
he
Thursday?
accompanies her. Thursday, then we move to David Van Tighem. He's in rotating rep with a woman named Ann Carlson, who is a very, very famous and strange performance artist slash dancer. You never know what Ann's going to come up with. She just does some wonderful things. She's here, covering her eyes with the fishbowl. This is where she plays a whale or a mermaid there, actually.
That's from Sarah, from
Yes.
her animals.
Yes, she did a
Pieces series.
piece called Animals. She's doing part of a piece from what she calls the White series, which is actually an auction. She studied auctioneering. That's where I first saw her. She comes on in a wedding gown and auctions off all kinds of things. Very, very strange, but good. She's going to be running and rotating rep with David Van Tighem, the percussion man we saw. So he's on Thursday and Saturday. Ann is on Friday and Sunday.
And then you move to Gunston.
And then we move to Gunston Theater 1. Tuesday, we have Jan Schwenkmeyer and Faust. This is this sort of strange baby-looking thing. Schwenkmeyer is an animator who really, some people compare, maybe not, I was going to say compare favorably, but actually prefer him to Disney. They think Disney is sort of simplistic in comparison to the work that he does. He uses claymation like Tim Burton did on The Nightmare Before Christmas. And also uses live action. And
combines them.
it combines them all. And it's a really fascinating, surreal film. Got an absolute rave in the New Yorker just recently. So it's a new film.
And Wednesday?
And Wednesday is a roundtable on innovation. Just like we're talking about fun things, we're going to have some people from the NEA and some critics and people from the dance and visual arts and all over the place. We're still actually even putting them together. They're going to talk about it. And then we have to a rotating rep. Thursday and Saturday, we have the Secondhand Dance Company, which are the guys on the poster who are standing on their heads, kind of. They're sort of strange guys. They do all kinds of stuff. They do percussion with their feet against their rear ends. They strap like frying pans to their butts and do things. And they're on Thursday and Saturday. And then Friday and Sunday is Celeste Miller, who is a dancing monologuist or a talking dancer or whatever, and just talks about some very interesting stories that she's picked up over the years of traveling. Each time she goes somewhere, she incorporates her experiences into the stories, so they're alternating. And Celeste and Anne are also spending a week working in the schools and around in the community. Celeste has been brought here by the Humanities Project, which is the schools, so they're actually picking up the tab for her.
Terrific.
And Anne will be spending time in residence here working with people.
Now, people can contact Arlington County for tickets.
Yes, they would call the Cultural Affairs Division at 358-6960.
And $50 for the whole 3 weeks.
$50,
Thank
right?
you very much for coming on the show and telling us all about this fascinating festival.
I know. It's very hard to
Festival.
move for 3 weeks.
We're not a series
Not a
anymore.
series anymore. And Zoe would like to say goodbye to you all.
Goodbye, Zoe.
Thanks for being such a
Goodbye,
good
Zoe.
dog.
Yes, you were quite good.
You were
Surprising,
quite,
really.
quite good.
And thank you for wearing